Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Taurus for December 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, see my wealth of free resources there, my blog, and some other things. Plus, you can sign up for a reading. You can book a live reading with me. I'm off of sabbatical, so if you'd like my personal insights about your chart or need help making a decision or figuring something out, I'd love to assist you. You can see more about that at anniehelpsyou.com. So what's going on in December? We've got a beautiful wrap up to a retrograde focused year. With every week we move into December, we are more free from the fog of the retrogrades, and more clarity, more momentum is very likely to roll in. The second factor we have that makes this December time a time for unfinished, basically clearing up unfinished business, is that by the time we get deeper into January, all the planets will be going direct. So it's very rare when that happens. And so we're getting set up for massive momentum. So December is a very busy time with lots of opportunity. And at the same time, it's a great time to be productive, clearing up unfinished business, to clean the slates for these wonderful new possibilities. There's also a third factor that's making December a very powerful time for some major changes, which is the eclipses. The eclipse season is here again. Twice a year we have eclipses, and we have 2 in January. But because we feel the eclipse energies often 4 to 6 or sometimes more weeks before the actual event, we have to talk about it beforehand, because you're very likely going to be having news, changes, magical fulfillments, dramatic endings, brilliant new beginnings, major news coming in December. So I want to help you understand where that's hitting in your chart. So I had such overwhelming positive feedback for my use of the visual aids that I'm going to continue taking the time to do that. So I'm going to show you exactly where on the early, middle, and late degree Taurus charts the first eclipse is going to hit. So the December report will focus on the first eclipse and what you can expect. The January report will focus on the second eclipse and what you can expect. And since I send them out a month early, by December, when all of these changes are brewing, and possibly happening, you will have good information about both of the eclipses, so you'll be prepared. Okay, so let's look at the charts now. Hello, Taurus friends. I am very excited to give you these visuals again, to be able to show you, not just tell you the energies that are going on and how they can affect you and why. The why is the most exciting thing for me to explain, and that's, you can see the astrology teacher in me. That is one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so let's talk about how certain transits are affecting Taurus placements. We are going to talk about, and I will show you where that solar eclipse, the 15-degree Capricorn one at the beginning of January, is going to hit, because you very likely will be feeling that in December. Major things can occur even at the end of November into December as it relates to that January eclipse. We often have news, movement, information, and other things brewing before the actual eclipse happens as far as how it's going to affect us. But first we have some other business to attend to here. Okay, so whenever there is anything going on in an element that is your same element, so for you it's the earth element, then it makes 120-degree angles with your placements, okay? So I am going to break down the eclipses into early, middle, and late degree placements, and I will explain to you how you figure out which one you are. But first I'm going to talk about some things that are related to certain birth dates and certain degrees, and I'm just going to use the early degree chart as an example for the example chart, but it's relevant for the people who I'm referring to. Okay, so this is a big showing of Capricorn energy in the sky. Taurus energies are here. So whether you're watching for your rising, your sun sign, your moon sign, you're going to be somewhere there. Okay. So as these planets are making these 120-degree angles with your placements, those are like astrological kisses. Because that is the most favorable angle in all of astrology. And So that's very exciting. And these are long-term transits that are moving slowly, but they are at this time currently making some big effects. So I want to talk about those first, okay? So for those of you who are in the April born, especially April 25th through the 30th or so, okay? And if you're watching for your rising or your moon, this would be around 7 degrees through 11 degrees. Saturn is kissing with a 120-degree angle your placements. What does that mean? That means that Saturn, the bringer of material form, of longevity, of stability, of building, of material gains, is coming into contact with whatever your Taurus placement is. You know, whether if it's your sun, then it'll be these birthdays. If it's the degree, you know, it could be any of your Taurus placements at this. And that's going to be happening throughout this month in December. So if you've been needing a boost, working on certain things, this can bring things through in a major way, or it can plant some major seeds for the growth of things to come. So if nothing big happens in this time, don't worry. Sometimes there's a spark to something during the trine, or it's, you know, something is started. Sometimes it's finished and it brings it in the manifestation, but sometimes it's started and then things build from there. Okay, so the next kisses we have going on are going to be for you early May people. So we'll say like around the first 10 days of May. So May 1st through around the 10th, and to come for you, for the rest of you May people. Saturn is going to very quickly be moving into this trine for you all in the new year. Okay, so those kisses, that stability, those things, you know, and the rest of you, like before the 25th, you've been having this go on prior to now. So nobody gets left out of it. It's just a matter of timing. All right, so you have those Saturn kisses to come. Then for you all, like May 11th. Okay, so wait, back to this May 10th, 1st through 10th. So this is going to be the degrees of like, you know, 11 or so through 21 or something around that, coming soon, and then for the rest of you coming a little later down the line, these Saturn kisses. Okay, so now May 11th through May 14th, around those dates, and sometimes we give or take, you know, a day in either direction. So May 11th through 14th, and for the degrees of around 19 degrees through 23 degrees, you're getting Pluto kisses, transformation, rebirth, recalibration, phoenix rising from the ashes, massive amounts of atomic energy at your disposal to do whatever you need to do. So that making these kisses with your Taurus placement, if you're in this designation here, May 11th through 14th or 19th through 23rd. It can be kind of intense, Pluto, you know, but when it's in the form of a trine, it's usually, you know, dazzlingly positive. Okay, so you later people, like towards the end of the sign, like almost cuspy to Gemini, you all have, I blocked it out here, that trine aspect here with these heavenly bodies. I don't talk about the goddesses yet. I'm planning their great unveiling a while from now, but just know that it's still going on. These beautiful kisses with you at the end. So like 27, 28, 29 degrees, if you're watching for your rising or moon, and those days at the very end of the birthdays, you're having these beautiful kisses with karma coming in a positive way, positive karmic manifestation or healing of karma. Can definitely be brought with that, those kisses. Okay, and so those were the things I wanted to talk about, was just all of that smooching going on from the perspective of these trines. Lots of activity there for Taurus at this time and in the upcoming future as well. It's an ongoing thing. Now let's look at speaking of Earth effects here, the solar eclipse, which brings new opportunities, new beginnings, new chapters. Many people are going to experience that as new work and new footing out in the world. That's for every sign because it's in the sign of Capricorn. So all signs can have this energy of new work opportunities, new chapters, new prestige, new directions, things like that. But let's look to see in what houses it's falling into. And actually before that, those of you who have your birthdays like May 1st through around 12th, we'll say, in those days around there. And if you have degrees from like 10 through 20 degrees, with special emphasis the closer to 15 you are. And then the same here, like those around the 5th or 7th or something like that for your birthday. That grouping is going to have a very clear, powerful trine, which is the most favorable angle in all of astrology. We've just been talking about that for this Capricorn eclipse. So that's extra blessings, extra things coming straight to you. So that is very exciting. It can be just landmark, notable, major positive changes as it relates to this particular aspect. Okay, so now we can look at exactly where it's going to hit for early, middle, and late degree placements. First, we have to establish if you're early, middle, or late degree placement. Okay, so if your birthday is in April, so you're April born, then you're early, also from 0 to 9 degrees if you're watching for your your moon or rising. And then middle degree placements, you're going to be around May 1st through 10th. And that's going to be 10 to 19 degrees. See? Excuse me. And then the late will be around May 11th through the rest of the sign, and from like 20 to 29 degrees if you're watching for your rising sign. Okay, so if you missed what I just said, then do me a favor and go back, rewind it, and listen to it to get it straight, where your placement is. Because I do have a lot of questions about that, and I am so happy to try to answer and help everyone, but I am very much overwhelmed with trying to personally respond to everybody. So I just want to minimize answering questions that you can, figure out from the video. So just go back and figure out where your placement is, because that's an easy one if you just look back. Okay, so now we have established where you are in that. Let's look to see how that is going to hit. So 15 degrees of Capricorn for you early degree placements is going to be in the 9th house. We'll talk about the implications once we see where everybody's having this. Okay, so 15 degrees for you middle degree placements, that's also going to be in the 9th house. And then for you late degree placements, some of you are going to have that in the 9th house, and there will be some of you that have it in the 8th house, okay? So it's close enough that I'd say every Taurus placement has a chance to experience this energy, this new energy opening up in the 9th house. But those late degree placements, you also have a chance of manifestation in the 8th house. And you could have them simultaneously. They could have whispers of both of the house energies. So let's talk about what it means. Okay, so we know that the solar eclipse is new opportunities. Also, it's important to know that we're moving along a continuum. So between the middle of 2018 and the middle of 2020, we have these Capricorn Cancer eclipses. And so stories that came up in the middle of 2018 can be echoing out over this continuum over these times. And things can happen along the eclipse chapters at any time, but there are hot spots. So like twice a year, we have these hot spots where the eclipses actually happen, and those hot spots carry more of a chance for manifestation. So the 4 to 6 weeks before and after the actual eclipses twice a year tends to bring more notable movement along the track that the eclipse is bringing us along, but manifestations can happen at any time. So there are themes at play, and we're moving along into another chapter. So the things that happen, some things are just very decisive. It's the end or the beginning. But a lot of them are just kind of like moving along a continuum. So ninth house opportunities that are very commonly opened up for, and this again will be for early, middle, or late degree placements, is anything having to do with learning or teaching. So new learning programs, education, getting educated to prepare you for expansion in your work or into a new direction with your work. If you are a teacher or want to be a teacher, teaching opportunities can open up very big and bright. Also, anything having to do with different countries, different cultures, different languages are all very fair game for new beginnings. Different international trips, sometimes they'll be local, but there's a very strong energy of international or long trips with or far away. Even if it's, like in the United States, you could be going from Florida to Alaska, and that could be, a very long distance trip, even though it's in the same country. But just this energy of something far away, something exotic is coming in, or working within the international arena. So bringing your work out to the international realms could also be something coming up. Something having to do with your spiritual development, including organized religion, but doesn't have to be organized religion. So opportunities to share spiritually or be involved with groups or organizations, or just to teach in general spirituality can also be opening up. This can also have to do with creating positive solutions and looking at things from a different perspective, like having a big breakthrough as far as how your perspective is shading something that's going on. So, the energy of Sagittarius, which is what rules the ninth house, is like being up on the mountain. You got this person on the mountain. And I always think of this energy like these people down here in this village are, I know you love my very advanced artwork, right? So the people here in this village have their river ran dry, and they're like, oh no. So they go up the mountain to ask the wise sage about the situation, and he or she tells them there's a beaver that blocked up the water over here. So if you just go take that down, then you'll have your water back, So this is the energy of seeing something like a bird's eye view of something, because you're looking at it from above the situation, not within the situation. So having a major breakthrough about perspective or perceptions is also very likely during this time, and that can really improve things. It can be like a major breakthrough with how you look at things. Okay, so that's ninth house manifestations. Then the eighth house, for those of you in the late degree placement, and we're going to, even though the middle degree people and early degree people are not having this eclipse in the eighth house, or any chance really for the manifestation to be in the eighth house, what I'm about to share about potentials for the eighth house are still going to be relevant for early and middle Taurus, just for a different reason. And that is because of planets moving through the eighth house. See? So the eighth house is going to be accentuated around this time. Not from the eclipse, though, from the movement of this energy. So the things that I'm about to talk about are fair game for any of you, but they're just for different reasons. Okay, you see here, this looks empty, but these are about to move in here for the middle degree people. And then the late degree people, you don't have that energy going into the eighth house yet. That's going to be staggered for you. But you have the eclipse energy there, and then this will be following soon. So for all Taurus placements, the eighth house is a focus. Okay, so eighth house focus can bring opportunities with getting money. If you need money for something, borrowing money, getting access to a loan, refinancing, venture capital, spousal money, family money, winning money, sweepstakes. Eighth house activity can often make people more likely to win the lottery or win something. So you can feel that out, and in somehow getting money you need, whether it's through government assistance or through it comes from somewhere else usually. It's the other people's money house. So that's very much accentuated for you all. Also, this is a house of possible psychological and in many cases spiritual breakthroughs as well. So this energy of breakthrough is, hanging out as a huge potential. You could have some really major awarenesses. And this is also the house, this 8th house is the house of intimacy, one of the marriage houses, sex, power, working with powerful people, becoming a person of resources, or getting help from people who have resources, deepening intimacy, healing psychological or deep intimate wounds. Anything like that can be possible in this time as an accentuated experience. Okay, so those are the things most on my mind for the Taurus placements. Now I want to talk more about the general transits. I'll show you the days to watch, what things you may expect along those periods of time, and some of my favorite days, and so we'll go into all that now. So the theme of December 2018 for all signs is ready to soar. Besides Jupiter getting deeper into Sagittarius, there are other reasons why this is the month that we have been waiting for such a long time. So this is the month that the long retrograde focus is finally ending. Most of the year of 2018, we've had personal planet retrogrades back to back and coinciding with each other. So even though the retrograde influences will still linger for most of the month, you'll definitely feel the cloak of retrograde energies becoming lighter and finally being removed at the end of the month. So Mercury is direct early in the month, December 6th. This change in directions coincides with the Sagittarius new moon, which we'll also talk about. It will take until December 18th for Venus to be done with its post-shadow period. Okay, so after December 18th, the Venus retrograde energy is completely done. But every day leading up to that, it's gone more and more anyway. And then December 25th is when the post-transit Mercury shadow period completely dissipates. And then we're going to be opening up into this brilliant and very rare period in January 2019 where every planet will be moving direct. So this is a really big time. So I've got some dates to note that we're going to go into details about, but in general, this month is about breaking free, being ready to soar, having liftoff, and we will have some things to look out for, and I will go into the details of that. So in general, well, actually, before I go into the details of this month, the dates to watch, remember that you can get a more in-depth and written version of these general transits when you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. Okay, so you get all of the general transit reports a month early, like I do all my horoscopes, via email when you sign up for my free email newsletter. So if you want to be kept up to date for your planning and have a written version, then definitely go there. Okay, so we start out the month. So here I've got our visuals. We're going to look at Venus and Uranus. Okay, so we're just kind of ignoring the rising energy. We're not focusing on houses in this reading. We're just focusing on the relationship between the planets because it's a general reading, okay? So Venus rules love and money. And whenever we have Venus opposing Uranus, we're generally in for surprises involving love and money. Sometimes they can be great surprises like a chance romantic encounter or a heating up of your love life in some other way, or awesome money that comes out of nowhere, which also could coincide with having to work more, which could bring overstimulation, or just the surprise factor of money coming in can be, a little overwhelming. But it can also bring financial and love surprises that aren't welcome. So a fight with your beloved, an expense, or some other challenging financial news. Generally, the things that happen with these Venus-Uranus oppositions are quick to blow over. So if there's a fight, Usually it will pass quickly. You know, if there's a surprise with money, it usually tends to settle its way out pretty quickly. But do be aware that this transit that actually occurs on November 30th, on December 1st, is when these surprise energies are more common. And whenever I give you exact dates, remember that the transits don't always manifest as far as our experience of them on the exact date that they happen. So days before 12/1 and days after 12/1, you could experience these shocks or surprises. Okay, so that's the first thing to look out for this month. Something in general for the month of December to watch out for or to be aware of is that we've got a ton of Sag energy. This brings upliftment. This Mercury is going to move into Sag, so we've got these 3 planets moving in Sag, making aspects with each other. And I'll talk about some of the dates that are really amazing from these getting together. But the general energy of busyness, of travel, of learning, of teaching, people who are in the teaching businesses or speaking or publishing could be lighting up like the 4th of July for every sign. Anything having to do with international travel plans or long-distance travel plans can be heated up here. Anything with languages, international business, anything like that. So, and in general, optimism, busyness, running around, and kind of possibly exhausting yourself, which now we move into this talk here, okay? So all these Sag energies are going to be here bringing all this busy stuff in. And then at some point, each of these are going to be making squares, 90-degree angles. Challenging, could be stressful, with these Pisces planets. So the way I always see that, and I have a very personal look at this because I have a ton of planets in Sag myself, and I tend to run myself to exhaustion. So a lot of that is going to be a theme of this month, running yourself to exhaustion. And the Pisces planets are going to be calling out for rest. Z's. You want to get more sleep and you want to get more rest. So this extroverted, busy energy is going to be competing with this sleep and rest and kind of a dreamy, artistic flow, emotional energy. So you'll see throughout the month points where those conflict. And if you take the warning to rest, you can save yourself from the overexhaustion and try to find a perfect balance, which ultimately, you know, these 90-degree angles can help you do. So rest is going to be in order, busyness is going to be in order, and that's going to be a big theme of the month. Okay, so let's look at some other aspects here that were going to be important. So Mercury is going direct, as we said, on the 6th, so expect some awkwardness there as Mercury changes direction, and then the shadow period runs until 12:25. On 12:18, we have Venus post-transit shadow period finishing off, so then Venus is clear. Okay, and then on December 6th and 7th, depending on your time zone, we've got the new moon in Sagittarius. That's going to be at 15 degrees. And so new beginnings and time to make your new moon wishes in all of the areas of everything Sag, which we talked about before. Different countries, languages, cultures, teaching, learning, travel, international work, also spiritual or religious projects, writing, publishing, speaking. There's going to be an aspect with Mars and Neptune bringing an extra dreamy energy. See, Mars and Neptune are going to be together at the time of that new moon. And some things that come in may feel like they're too wonderful to be real. Very dreamy energy there. We're also going to have this time, as Mercury is still in Scorpio, trining Chiron. And that's going to be on 12/9, which is an extra sweetness, healing, solutions are more likely to roll in at that time. December 20th, mark a big star in your calendar. for the days around December 20th through the 22nd. Okay, we're going to really 12/20, 12/21, 12/22. What happened there? There we go. Because on those days, first we're going to have the Sun trine Uranus. Okay, so it's going to make 120-degree angle, the most favorable in all astrology. So a boost to anything and everything. This could bring happy surprises. It's more likely to bring happy surprises. Also, Venus is making a beautiful aspect at that time with Neptune. And one of the biggest things is that this Mercury is going to come and make this conjunction with Jupiter, which very often brings enhanced luck, good news, amazing things in the areas of Sagittarius that we mentioned. And so I'm putting this day and this period of time as my favorite launch days of the month. So even though, like I had said, Mercury doesn't regain its full strength till 12/25, the days that are just before that have so much beautiful energy. So if you have to bust something out, these days could be perfect for that. There'll be more time in January and into February if you're not quite ready, but there's an amazing energy about, busting forth at this time. Okay, so on December 22nd, we have a full moon at almost 1 degree of Cancer. And there's a little challenge with Mars and also some sweet aspects working at one with Uranus. But in general, that full moon can bring lots of family awesomeness. There is a chance for a little bit of conflict with the Mars and also a Chiron aspect. But many people will have amazing family fruition, fun, emotional, mostly for the good, but there could be some little tweaks in there. But just typical holiday family awesomeness, very likely around that time. Okay, so then there are some other aspects towards the end of the month, which is, 12/28. We've got another sweet aspect with Venus. See, during this month, Venus is going to come and make a nice aspect to Saturn, and then Venus is going to make a nice aspect to Pluto. So this is going to be really good for sweetness in your relationship. This can be really great for good news involving work and money. So there are lots of great boosts involving Venus, which is perfect because we're clear of the Venus retrograde energies and everybody's pretty much raring to go. Okay, so those are the things that I most wanted to talk about for the general transits. Definitely mark those dates in your calendar for really great energies. So then we will head into January just really with a legitimate feeling of a new year. If you've been listening to my reports for years, you know that I talk about certain Januaries because of certain transits not really feeling like a new year. But this January is really going to feel like a new year. And all of these things in December are leading up to that open energy. So we love that. Something else that is important to note if you are a holiday shopper, that because the energies from Mercury are still strong at the beginning of the month, it actually favors last minute shopping. So the closer you're getting to the holiday times, the more energy, more clear the energy will be. Okay, so just so you have that heads up for holiday shopping, the later part, the couple of weeks before the holiday times, are best for shopping even compared to November and early December. Okay, so those are the things most on my mind for the general transits. So I hope you loved the added component of the visuals for the charts. If you would like to have my personal insights about your chart, then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and book a live reading. If you resonate with how I teach astrology and you want to learn more for personal or professional purposes, if you'd like to be an astrologer or include astrology as part of your professional offering, then I am going to be enrolling now, December into January, for the next run of my astrology apprenticeship program. So you can see that at anniehelpsyou.com, plus lots of other offerings there. If you'd like written horoscopes by me for your sign each month, go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. At cozybysweetstarlight.com, I will write about some things that I mention in the videos, but sometimes I talk about other stuff that I don't cover in the videos. So you get more information about what the month looks like for you, and plus great reads for each sign and lifestyle blogs by me and up-and-coming bloggers that I have on my site. If you're a traveler, then definitely check out my astrology travel reports, my monthly astrology travel reports at Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss. At astrologykissedtravelbliss.com, you get those monthly travel astrology reports plus other travel blogs and lots of beautiful pictures on all of my sites. So they're definitely something to see. If you're into tarot, you want to learn tarot, you want a tarot reading, then definitely check out my husband's work, B.R. Newman, at iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. You can check out his amazing offerings there. So I hope you have a wonderful month and a wonderful end to your year, and I'll see you next year. Bye.